So, thank you for coming along today, Martin. I mean, obviously, we know each other. We're friends. We go to the gym together when you choose to turn up. And the idea of this, it just came to me as a spur of the moment because I have a genuine interest in your background. And one of the things that impresses me most is the fact that, you know, to me, you're quite young. You've got a business that's expanding. You've already specialised in an area which to me, someone generally specialises much later on in life when they've, you know, found their feet. So I'm genuinely keen to understand. I mean, how old are you now?
34.
34. So yes, you are extremely young. I mean, compared to
me,
like
3 years difference.
Yeah, only three. So you're 34 years old. You started and run a recruitment agency. You surround yourself with some, you know, real professionals within the procurement recruitment sector, which I think is fantastic for someone as young as you. So if you can tell me a bit more. I mean, obviously I spend time with you, but I'd love to know more about you yourself. You know, your mum and dad, family. You know, what's your background?
Quite some broad questions. So yeah, I mean, thank you. That's kind of you. Firstly, I'm not very good at taking compliments. You can probably see I sit in quite a protected position. But no, look. I mean, I think for me, I genuinely, it's cliche, but I genuinely fell into it. There wasn't I'd love to tell you I was sat doing my sports science degree at Loughborough and going, I'm going to be a procurement recruiter and run a business and all that sort of stuff. So clearly, it wasn't necessarily in my sort of conscious mind at 21. You know. I was going to go down the route of being into PE, you know, being a teacher, PE teacher, or something around the sports science route. I'm a big, as you know, big sports enthusiast, and I thought that was the route I went down. And I think when I graduated, I must admit, I thought I was going to go on to a graduate scheme. I was looking at kind of Deloitte and EY and some of those big corporate schemes, and I didn't get anywhere. I literally didn't even get an interview, didn't get a call back, nothing at all. So, you know, when you're a poor student or coming out for a degree, it was a bit like, what do I do? Now, obviously, I'm from Poole in Dorset here, which I love, and I knew that there wasn't going to be many job opportunities as a graduate. So I just wanted to go into London. I've always liked going into London socially with friends. I had a lot of mates that live in and around the home counties of London. So I kind of thought, let's just go into the city. So I literally picked up a paper. And then there was something called the Graduate Recruitment Bureau. I was like, what's that? Is that like a graduate scheme? And it's actually a recruitment to recruitment agency that basically filtered graduates out to recruitment businesses in London. I never even thought about going into recruitment. And then, you know, 13 years on, the rest is history. So I really did generally fall into it. And I think the beauty of the profession that I do is it's very varied, and I think actually the core of being a good recruiter is just your communication skills. It's really as simple as that. You can get to know your product, whether you're doing procurement recruitment, which is what I do, or if it's IT, which is more in your world, or if it's, you know, marketing or HR, whatever it may be. You can learn the product, you can understand what a good candidate looks like, but the skill set of being able to flex your communication style with different people and different audiences, have that confidence, and think on your feet. A lot of the time you're dealing with people, you're not dealing with a product. It is very much, you know, it's human beings you're working with. So these are people that will change. They'll change, you know, the kind of job they want. They'll go on maternity leave, they'll relocate, they will, you know, change careers, etc. And you have to be very much thinking on your feet. So I think for me, I've just been, my sort of mantra is sort of living in the moment and not thinking too far ahead. It just so happened at the time, 3 years ago, I'd got to a point in my last business where I didn't feel I could do any more. And then probably by then, at the back of my mind, I thought about maybe setting up or thinking about doing something. I think the luckiest thing, I find myself fortunate that I work for 2 business owners, one in London and one in Winchester, who I almost got to work shadow how they run a business, how they run a P&L, you know, overheads, understanding the complexities of, you know, the tax man and how all that stuff works. And I kind of really understood some of what they did and understand some of the pressures. It's not easy, as you well know, as a business owner. So I think that got me in a fortunate position where I'd had that chance to understand, to a degree, how to run a business, which I wouldn't have got that exposure if I'd just gone and worked in a big corporate. So yeah, and I guess that's where I'm here today. But I think, you know, I started managing people at 21. I see age as not being a blocker in that. I think you if you've got experience and you're confident, you can run a business whether you're 21 or 51 or whatever. There's always a good opportunity to do that. So yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, obviously, with the pandemic and everything else that's happened. But you know, I wouldn't have changed anything really. So.
Brilliant. Well, I mean, some of what you said there really resonated. And I'm hoping, as me doing this for the first time, I'm hoping that, you know, maybe a few graduates will watch this and listen to it, because the thing that I think any graduate, and Tom, I know you're not in shop, but you're a graduate there, listening to someone like Martin, 3 years in, running a business with a team of 5+, dealing with some very high-end clients, to hear someone say that, you know, he literally flipped what he thought he was going to do, gives you hope, does it not?
It is quite inspiring.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I mean, that's partly why I asked you in, because I think you take for granted what you do, as do I, but I think your story, for me, just exemplifies exactly that a young person today can actually do anything they want.
Yeah.
The tools are there, the technology's there. You don't have to decide today what you're going to be for the next 20 years. Or actually, what you've just exemplified is that you don't have to decide what you want to do for the next 5 years.
No.
You can literally, you know what, I want to try that. And if you've got energy and passion, which you clearly have in spades, Martin, you can achieve anything. And it blows my mind even more to know, you know, you're 3 years in, and you've already assembled such a team, and you've got more people wanting to join Talent Drive of a level that is opening doors for you. So,
and I think as an industry, and I'm sure you've got it in sort of the IT and tech world as well. I think the last few years, and again we'll talk about the sort of the pandemic. I think what I would describe as the old school way of doing recruitment, the sort of throw CVs at the wall, see what sticks, quite that transactional process, is very outdated and very archaic. And I think what we saw certainly at the start of 2020, when people were just working from home, people having that agile working culture, some recruitment agencies and businesses more broadly adapted. They adapted well, they embraced the agile working, they embraced the technology behind it, and others didn't. And that actually is really interesting when I look on sort of LinkedIn and social, and I look at some recruitment agencies in our market. Some are just reverting back to type and just doing what they did pre-pandemic and what they did in the 90s. They're losing staff. That isn't the 21st century. That's not 2022 way of doing recruitment. And some are getting found out as a result and are losing headcount and losing staff. Now, I'm not proclaiming that we're wonderful or whatever. There are other agencies in our space that are doing similar, but I think you've got to be agile and pivot in the approach, because, you know, again, when I set up the business, I was thinking about building a team that would be geographically aligned, so to have someone that run Berkshire-based clients and Hampshire and London. It's irrelevant now. The lines have all been blurred, so it became very outdated within a matter of, you know, months.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think that's a really important point when you're looking at that.
So education-wise, you obviously, did you go to university?
Yes, I went to Loughborough, did sports science and English. Right.
Now, to do what you're doing and the way your career's gone so far, and the skills you've learned, would you say to a young person that that's still relevant? Is it a must-have? Is it completely optional?
I think it's totally optional, if I'm honest. I think I was drummed into me at school and in sixth form that go to university. If you don't go to university, you're not going to get a good job. It was kind of that, maybe that I perceived that wrong, but I think a lot of my friends would say that was the case as well. It's not true. I mean, again, I think the agency that I joined, and I love my time there, I worked there nearly 6 years, it was, and they'd admit this themselves, it was a bit of a tick box. You know, are you degree educated? Have you got a degree? And they didn't care if it was a degree in geography, history, sports science, whatever. It was more, have you gone to university? Have you basically left your home and showed you've got some independent skills to do that? Which, so I kind of get it to a degree now, but I think with the way that the costs have obviously been, you know, even since I've been at university, I think they've tripled. So for me, busy office.
One press wouldn't have done.
Yeah.
Let's go for 3.
So I think for me, with the prices going up now of universities and stuff, I do think it's been a bit diluted. And actually, there's peers of mine in recruitment that aren't degree educated, and they've done, well, arguably even better than myself. So I guess to your point, I don't necessarily as a value add. I think leaving home and finding something that you can do definitely get that independence, I think will add real value if you think about being a business owner. But I think going to university, you know, I got some mates for life out of it. I got to work, you know, Loughborough's got amazing sports facilities. The degree I did was great. Am I applying sports science stuff to my day-to-day? Of course I'm not. I think it's more around those sort of broader soft skills that you develop.
I want to touch on adversity, and I know it's not necessarily just in the business environment, but personally, you know, we've all had different journeys. Have you come up against adversity yet in life that's really challenged you? How did you deal with adversity? How do you deal with adversity?
Yeah, definitely. I think on a personal note, so I was married very young. I was married at 26, sort of childhood sweetheart. We were together in London. We moved in after university together, and that was kind of going to be our home. And that was when I was at my previous business. We moved back to Dorset, where we were both from. That was the dream, and sadly it didn't work. So you know, getting divorced in your late 20s is tough. And I was just been promoted in my last business to a director, so there's a huge expectation on my shoulders to deliver. I have to say my old boss was great with it, but that was something on a personal note which was really tough to be with someone for such a long time, and then having to pivot in my own life and change, particularly in a sales role where you've got to be smiley and you know, client facing every day. So yeah, on a personal note, that was really tough. So
how did you deal with that?
A network of amazing family and friends around me. I'm very lucky. My parents live locally to me in Poole, so I'm very close to them and my brother. And I've got a great group of mates that all galvanised and sort of worked around me and you know, supported me through that time. But that adversity that I had was that it made me think forward and not revert back to what used to happen and back in my old place. It's very easy to reflect on the past because you're aware of it. So it's trying to sort of keep a step forward, sorry, and be positive every day. And I think that's the outlook I try and create. I'm very lucky. I'm remarried. I've got a lovely wife who supports me. You know, incredible actually, and really, you know, has been a real. I wouldn't have set up Talent Drive if it wasn't for her, to be honest. So she's been a real support for me. And yeah, I think everything happens for a reason in life. I know that's a cliche line, but I'm a big advocate of that. And I wouldn't be the person I had today without those challenges. And forgive the pun of drive with Talent Drive, but it gave me the drive.
Well, I was going to say, when I was thinking of the core questions, what to ask Martin, I think you're a great speaker, you're a great talker, you talk in front of people all the time, you do your podcasts. I thought, you know, I won't have to work very hard to get great insight from you. And actually, one of the things that I thought of this morning was, how is he so driven? And I thought, well, that's a real pun. That's a real pun. Don't use that. But you are extremely driven, and I think what's come through already is clearly, and actually, I think over the last couple of years and then some, I think many of us realised that one of the most important things are people, and the people that we surround ourselves with.
Totally agree.
And actually, me personally, it's been a game changer, just having people, like-minded people, and being able to learn from those people, and just suck in and sponge just all of their insights. And you touched on it there, and you mentioned the friends, lifelong friends that you've made, friends that got you through adversity, friends and family. And I think more than ever, friends, family, anyone in your life that gives you a positive amount of energy, grab them and hold on to them.
Totally
100%. So that's one thing I'd definitely say to young, old, anyone coming through college. Tom, I'll say the same thing to you right now. You know, if you've got people around you, friends that make you feel good, give you good encouragement, just keep hold of those ones. Those ones are the keepers. But you're driven. Where do you think that comes from? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, is that from your parents? Is there anyone in your family that you'd say was always your guiding light, your mentor? For me, it was my uncle. Do you have anyone like that?
Yeah, very much so. So I think my dad is a massive role model to me, and someone that I sort of aspire to be honest with you.
Oh wow.
He never ran his own business. He was a loyal employee of a business for over 40 years. Can you believe that? 40. I'll get this wrong. I think it's 45 years.
He keeps moving away from me. You notice that? Do you not like me?
I do like you. Dave,
is he still in shock?
Yeah.
Because this is going to be really weird if I end up talking to myself and everyone's like, he's making up that he's got friends.
Should I do that bit? Oh, that's that bit again.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah.
That's an outtake.
Yeah. So I think for me, my dad is been a big role model and someone that I've sort of aspired to be. He worked in the same business for 45 years, so it wasn't like he didn't necessarily have that entrepreneurial spirit necessarily. But in terms of, you know, when we grew up, me and my brother, we were okay, but we didn't have a lot. You know, and I saw my dad sort of, you know, getting by, and it was, you know, it was tough. We didn't have everything. We weren't privileged in lots of ways. We had a lot of love and a lot of affection and that support, which is incredible. But I think in terms of sort of, we weren't able to have everything we wanted, and I saw the hours that my dad put in and the drive that he had to make that work. And I think the other thing I learned from him is being kind of people-centric. So the value of what you've just said a minute ago around surrounding yourself with positive people. My dad is a real people person. He loved the fact people that could engage with him. That was great positive feedback when his team interacted really well with him and got on with him. That meant more to him than anything else, actually, in a business sense. So I kind of looked at that and I went, okay, so you need to have your team respect you. You don't always have to like you, but I can categorically say everyone that he's worked with respected him, respected what he was as a boss, and he was always there to fight for them and support them. So I kind of picked up those things, and that sort of drove me on. And I think for me, I've always wanted to provide both for my family and you know, and have the things in life I wasn't maybe able to have.
Yeah.
So I think that's always driven me on. And back to your earlier point, I surround myself with people that are competitive.
Right.
I surround myself with people that are ambitious. You know.
Yes.
You know, all my.
Is that?
Yeah.
Do you do that intentionally?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I intentionally do. Look, my kind of.
So why are we friends?
Because you do. I think for me, you know, I'm really clear with people. I absolutely don't proclaim to be some wonderful entrepreneur. I'm not. I'm young. I'm learning from good people. You know, yourself included, Chris, with that around me, that are business professionals that have been in the game a lot longer than me. I want to learn from them. I want to look at the stuff they do and go, I want to do that. And there's stuff I might go and go, I don't want to do that, or I don't like positioning in that way. That's fine as well. You don't have to just copy someone else in their business sense. But yeah, look, my friends are all positive, ambitious, you know, family-orientated people, and they're people I want to associate my life with.
I love what you said about your dad. I mean, you know, I had a totally different experience, but you know, I would love one day for my sons to say about me what you've just said about your dad. I mean, that's. Have you ever told him this?
I'm telling him now. No, I have. He's heard it on a.
Are you welling up?
Yeah, no, I'm not welling up. No, I told it to him I was on another podcast, and in fact, I was on Warren.
Okay.
Podcast Evolve, and I referenced my dad as one of my role models, and yeah, absolutely. Look, I'm very very close with him. He knows that we have quite a demonstrative relationship. It's not with this, I'll tell you I love you once a year. We do share that. We are both open people. Hopefully my team will say that as well. I'm very open. If I'm happy and I'm happy with what they're doing, I'll tell them. If I'm frustrated, you know, they'll know.
That's amazing.
I've always been an open book, Chris, to be honest with you. That's just my style. I think the other thing is, but you've got to own that. I think there's certain business owners that go on social and stuff and proclaim there's something they're not.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Just be authentic. Be your authentic self.
You can only pretend for so long. I mean, but I just love that whole, you know, it's my fairy tale picture that I'll never have.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
No. But I won't. But when I see someone else say that about their parents or their mum, their dad, whatever, I just think, oh, that is just the best. Yeah, that is the best. I think I'm just going to have Warren Munson as my dad. Yeah, I mean, he looks older than me, though.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
yeah.
He
So
could,
I could
make that work.
Yeah, I could do that. He's quite cool.
Yeah.
Love you, Warren. So, lastly, one of the other things, and this is now, without blowing smoke at myself, it really floored me the time we were in the gym, and you said something about the experience you've had since moving your IT to us.
Yep.
Now, prior to us looking after you, what was your attitude to IT? Because there didn't seem to be, admittedly, to be fair to your previous relationship, it wasn't how I would term a partner relationship. You went to them and you needed something, and they gave it to you, and that's great. But I was so floored when you said what you said at the gym, and how much experience was so different and so beneficial, and I just want to understand that more, and more for my team as well. I want them to understand, not just, hey guys, you're doing a great job, but actually we are adding value and a benefit. So if I can, what was your attitude to IT before? Because it didn't seem to be particularly high on your list.
No, it wasn't at all. And to be fair to the previous provider, I was very reactive to them. It was just more, I need a new laptop.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it. So it was a very transactional relationship that I'd driven.
Yes.
I'd kind of guided it in that way. So yeah, it was just functional means to the end. I've got a new starter. I need a laptop. I need a new phone, and add them into the IT and send me an invoice. I mean, simple as that. So, but I think since obviously fortunate enough to get to know you and knowing your business, I think how I would like to be as a supplier is how you guys are. And what I mean by that is you're proactive. You're not salesy. You're not, you need this, this and this, and it'll cost you this. I've never had that experience. No. I know we're mates as well, but I'm just, from a business point of view, I've never felt that with you guys. Good. That really resonates with me, because that's how I would like to be and hopefully perceived by my clients. But I think it's being proactive. It's being, I've got this problem. How can we fix it together? And have you thought about this? This is a couple of ways you can do it. Value add. Let's link up with the Teams call or have a chat with the guys, which I know you do. Yeah. That's the kind of value add, and I'm noticing that now as I'm investing more in my team and as the team are growing, we have to have good IT. We have to have an infrastructure around us, or we'll just fall over. And actually, we've already had that where, as you well know, when you picked it up, going, well, you've got these new people. You haven't got the infrastructure around you. So
interesting. So, I mean, from us at the moment, you have the IT support. You've got the proactive monitoring. So we're monitoring all your devices. You've got a VoIP phone system with us as well now, which is all based in the cloud. And the
spam filter on emails, it's amazing.
I knew you'd like that.
I didn't realise how much spam I would get until you put the filter in. And now I look at the quarantine reports, they come for every night, and I'm going, Jesus.
You don't realise how much you're filtering and spending time administering your Outlook until we stop it.
Yeah. Totally.
And I try to communicate with the wider audience that these tools are so affordable. Yeah. They're only cost, a couple of quid. Yeah. But it's saving you. Those tools, they cost you £2.75 a month. Yeah. But how much time is it saving you? Yeah. More than £2.75.
Yeah, definitely.
So for me, it was more. Once we got to know you and got to know your business, for me it was about, well, we can make this easier for him. We can make him secure. We can buy him back time and protect his business and his revenue by adding security, The phone system, it's not just there for you to have a phone system, but it's there to give you a professional appeal, allow you in the future to enable anyone in the world to work for Talent Drive. Yeah. And be presented from the Poole office or the London office, the London number. Yeah. So it's for us. It's about giving any business owner the ability to expand and grow their business, but also as you grow and expand, what came very clear to me was the level of staff that you're bringing into your company. They're coming from environments where
they expect that.
They expect it.
Expect what's the IT, what's the escalation on this, and if I'm just going, I'll contact me and then I'll call and up.
Exactly. And also and it's funny, I had this conversation with someone else the other day that was talking to us about the IT, and I made that point to them that you've got quite a sizable team. I think it was 14 of them, and they're all senior people. Yeah. And it's like, well, what does that look like? If one of them has an issue, or one of them wants to learn something new, or one of them wants to investigate something, what services is your business providing? Yeah. A, to protect your staff, so to mitigate the risk to the business, but also the development of your business. IT now, touches everything, and it was just really interesting for me because there seemed to be a shift in attitude towards IT, and I wasn't, from my perspective, I wasn't actually aware that what we did could actually have that effect.
Yeah, and also I think for me the great thing is I can focus on running the business. I've got now, you know, good HR support, IT obviously with you guys, you know, etc., etc. So all the infrastructure around it, I don't have to go in the weeds and worry about, and you guys take care of that. And having that kind of strategic business partner, which you certainly guys are, and I see you as an extension of our business. And I think that's really important for any suppliers, is to perceive it in that way. And as I said earlier, being proactive, not reactive to situations. So now I can focus on the team, our clients, the podcast, all the stuff that we do. I don't have to go, oh no, I've got some spam through and I've accidentally opened it. And none of that.
No.
Or, oh no, someone's called the landline and it's only gone through. No, it goes through to everyone.
Yeah.
Etc. Etc. So, and you know, we jokingly earlier just said to one of your team, I need a new laptop and stuff, but I know I'll just get it done and it'll be here in a few days, and great. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to drive down to PC World like I do when I set the company up, or any other IT shop.
Say that.
Go out anywhere to go and do it. So yeah,
Martin,
great.
Honestly, absolutely brilliant, and I knew you'd be amazing. This is the first video I've ever done like this, and I may not do another one. It was purely about you today.
Okay, thank you.
And that's why I'm doing it. It's not a new gimmick for Chris.
Chris's couch? Or
No. You're so eloquent and you're so open. You speak so well and you just tell a great story. And as I say, I hope from graduates through to anyone starting a business, anyone in business, I hope they listen to this and you know, benefit in some way from it, you know, their own learnings. But thank you anyway. It's
awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, appreciate it, Chris. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.